What's up, everybody? It's Alex and Brand from the Buddyfight News Corner. Back again with another video for you guys. This time we're doing our tier list post-Dragon Climax Booster. We took quite a while to do this because testing,
There's
laziness.
a lot of decks.
There's like 70-some decks on here. It took a while.
We were gonna go and talk about each individual deck, but that takes way too long.
And we weren't going to have it in a reasonable amount of time that it would be relevant to do it in because, next week is X set 1. And we got to start testing decks from there to see what gets moved up, what gets moved down, and where our new Lord and Savior Prism Dragons fit. He-Man, don't laugh at me. Prisms are the next tier 1 deck.
Okay. So
after Thunder Empire, because Thunder Empire's degenerate. It's not even fair. Power creep me like that, Bushy, please. I want it.
If only. Yeah, we
Anyways,
have 4.
Enough about that. Here we go with the tier list.
And we separated it into 4 tiers: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Don't bother playing anything in 4. It's not worth. It's mostly just for fun.
Hey, you can play things in 4. It's the fun decks.
For fun.
Like, Secret Sword Turbo's pretty fun. White Earth Circles, they're trying.
Don't
I
bring
like Iron Gold Ritter.
Don't bring it into any kind of tournament. It's not gonna end well.
You can take it to locals. You might do all right there, depending on what tier you're.
Yeah, if you don't have
using.
If no one plays any of the high-end tier 1 decks, then sure, you could play it and have fun.
But if you don't, these are tier 4 is where we tell you don't take it to regionals. You're gonna have a bad time.
Unless you're trying to meme. If you're trying to meme, then go for it.
I wouldn't even say that, because look at Mummies. They're a tier 3, and they're one of the biggest meme decks.
You're not wrong, but if you want to meme even harder, just
take Martial Fortress.
You take Trent. Just take Trent. Ultimate Buddy Trent.
Take Trent to a regional and see what happens. Let me know how that. Let me know in the comments below how that turns out for you.
And then moving up, we got tier 3, which is they're not bad decks, but they're not on the same level as the other 2 tiers.
Like, these are decks that can win against tier 2 and tier 1, but their win rate isn't as good against the tier 1 decks, and they take a lot of player proficiency to get to the level that a tier 1 could play at.
Yeah, if you're really good with one of these decks, you can by all means take them to a regional and you could do pretty well with them. But you actually have to take the time and go through and actually try and know the deck inside and out.
You gotta have a real nice solid build. Main deck your hate, sideboard more hate. So you have to know what your regional meta looks like. And then you have to outplay people that are playing tier 1 decks.
Which is really hard to do when they're actually good players piloting tier 1 decks.
Yeah, so on an even player level, where both players are about the same level, and they both have well-constructed decks, the tier 3 deck will more than likely lose at least 70% of their games against tier 1, and about maybe 55 to 60% against tier 2.
Yeah.
If we're being nice.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, I love some of the tier 3 decks, like Blade Beasts, Thunder Knights, Dark Heroes, Neo Drum. I love these decks. It's just...
they're not very good.
You can't really take them to a regional and expect to go XO and into top 8 with ease. It's going to be a long day for you, trust me.
Unless you're Austin Summers and takes mummies just to meme everyone, and then ends up topping because it's memes.
Well, you see, Austin is actually our one true god, and he just doesn't know it yet. Or maybe he does know it, and he just hasn't admitted it. Either way, he's our one true god. You heard it here first on the Buddyfight News Corner. Praise be unto him.
Moving up, we have Tier 2, which are the good decks that you can reasonably take to a regional and you wouldn't have too much trouble. They can win out against Tier 1 decks, but you, again, have to be good with it and know how to outplay the decks.
Or you just have to open really well and hope they open really badly. That happens too. RNGesus is a crude guy.
Yeah, RNGesus sometimes hates you.
If you don't pray to Austin at nights, pray to RNGesus because he will make sure you have a bad time.
He will.
But the Tier 2 decks are the decks that you'll see sneak into tops, or depending on what the meta looks like, you'll see top a lot in certain areas, like Shadow Shades. Everybody wants to say they're Tier 1, they're one of the best decks in the format, and I would have to disagree, because if they're paired up against a lot of the Tier 1 decks, a lot of the Tier 1 decks tell Shadow Shades to go sit in the corner. But because of what the meta looks like, they can slide right in. There's a lot of Shadow Shade players around, so obviously when there's a lot of Shadow Shade players around, at least one of them's going to do fine.
Yeah.
So just because it's topping a lot doesn't mean it's really high in the tier list. It just means it's a meta deck.
Yeah, meta is different from tiers. Tiers is how good the deck actually is on paper. Meta is how many people are actually playing the decks. So they're two different concepts.
You said Shadow Shades in front of Style of Justice, and Style of Justice is...
It's going to eat it alive.
Field day.
I mean, you put it... Yeah, it's not going to end well for Shadow Shades.
Same thing if you put Impact Joe in front of God Vortis.
Yeah, he's just going to laugh.
You don't do that. He's going to Power Rangers backhand you into outer space. Rest in peace, Rita Repulsa.
And then we finally get to the Tier 1, which are the best decks of the format. It's the decks that if you go in, you're playing these decks, and you don't brick horrendously, you should at least make it to the top 16 bracket. You might not top, but you should make it pretty far with these decks.
Granted, you don't run into any of your piss-poor matchups where you're just like, well go
GG.
to game 2, pray that I draw my stuff.
Yeah. The Tier 1s don't usually have that many.
No matter where you are on the tier list, you're going to have your bad matchups. Tier 1 has the least out of those. It's actually hard just looking at the decks to pinpoint bad matchups for any of them, compared to Tier 2 and Tier 3, where you could be like going down the list, the bad matchups get more and more. But Tier 1, if you're playing this, you're a good player, you know your insides and outs, your play timings and whatnot, you should be good.
Yeah.
Unless you run into another Tier 1 deck, and in which case you better beat him before he beats you.
Yeah. Those are what you're mostly going to see in the tops. Granted, it does also depend on which regional and locals you're in, and how the person builds it. Because there are plenty of ways that you can build 5th Omnis that are not the greatest. Same with Zeta, same with Sun Dragons. Pretty much every one of these can be built wrong. So
I don't know how you build executioners wrong. You just throw 4 of every good executioner in the deck and call it a day.
Hey man, there's some skill in building executioners. You have to know which ones to put as a 3 of.
I don't want to see this one in the drop zone too much, so I'm gonna put this at 3. All right, cool.
And like Niels Y has also been topping a lot recently, and that kind
And
of builds itself.
it is a little bit difficult, but there is some room for variance. Style of Justice has like at least 3 different ways you could play the deck. You guys saw my deck, which is a lot more aggro than most decks. That's posted up on our channel if you guys missed it. I'm an aggro player, so you know, we like hitting hard and fast.
Yeah, great. With next set, a bunch of these decks changed in tiers. I don't know exactly where everything falls yet, but a lot of things change with the next set. There's a lot of good decks that come out of next set.
Which is why we decided to release this now rather than postpone it or rush it. We waited till a reasonable amount of time before the set release. Granted, it's only a week. It doesn't matter.
It's going to take a long time to update it.
Now.
Yeah.
It's going to take a little while to figure out what's moving. Like, off the top of my head, I could already see 2 or 3 decks moving. Like, Wizards are probably going to move up a tier. Wild Dragons might move up 1 or 2 tiers, depending on how testing goes against the upper decks. What other ones could change? Well, not ones that could change, but obviously we're going to have to fit in our new Lord and Savior, the Prism Dragons.
Thunder Empire.
Thunder Empire. Oni Assassins are going to be really solid. They're probably going to hit tier 1 like straight out of the box.
Right out of the box. Yeah, they are.
Dragon Chiefs, we don't know where they're going to land. We don't know if God Vortis is going to keep them in tier 1 or if people are going to start using the mill engine and then fall down to tier 3. That might be a thing. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. God Vortis forever.
Yeah.
God Vortis forever. Ninjas could probably slide up a tier since they're getting some pretty solid ninja support next set as well.
Yeah, they got a couple cards.
Oh, there you go. The sleeper all the way down at the bottom, Chess.
Oh, God.
Oh, that might shoot up to tier 1. You never know.
We're not talking about Chess.
All right, okay, we'll save that for another time. Oh, the Thunder Knights go up a tier. I like Thunder Knights. Yay.
Thunder Knights get a little better.
New Halberd is... Oh, new Halberd. Oh, yes, baby.
Yeah, so some decks do change. They change with every set. A good bit of decks move up to tier 1. A lot also move down a tier. It also depends on, what people are actually wanting to play. Because we could say these decks are the best in the game, but if no one wants to play it, then it's not going to do anything.
Like Legend Stars. Best deck in the format.
Or, the back in BTO5, the original BTO5 set, when we had Judgment, and Judgment was actually the best deck in the game, and no one played it. Like, absolutely no one played it.
Kind of like Legend Stars. Best deck in the format.
Hey, at least someone
like
topped with
it.
At least someone topped with Legend Stars so far. That's already more than Judgment. Judgment had no one playing it.
You're right. You're right. You are right. You are so right. But yes, you heard it here first. Legend Stars, best deck in the format at the moment. You already know.
Yeah.
And as a Star Dragon World avid believer and player, if I'm saying anything other than Star Dragon World is best deck in the format, it's got to be the best deck in the format.
Yeah, the only things that can really reliably beat Stars are the things that counter killer, set spell, or can't be nullified like Vortis. And then it's just a grind game at that point.
Vortis is probably Star's worst matchup.
Yeah.
It's not even really that bad of a matchup. It all depends on who hits what first.
It's how hard you can stall with Legend Stars.
Because Vortis isn't going to be doing a whole lot. So it all depends on how many size 1 blockers you could throw out.
Yeah, how hard can you
To
stall?
eat.
And can you stall enough to burn them to death?
And then they also they don't really struggle with Legend Zodiac, but Legends while I was playing Stars over the past couple weeks, Legend Zodiac's penetrate has been getting to me. So it all depends on how fast they get out the set spell. And I would like to say I get it out pretty quickly when I don't brick. But when I did brick, I felt it. I felt it hard.
Yeah.
I stubbed my toe.
Yeah, that's the tier list. Again, these will definitely change in a week when the set drops.
We won't know how they change right off the bat, but
Don't-
obviously we're going to take the time to test the new stuff against what we've got here, see where they land.
Also, don't let the tiers deter you from playing tier 2 decks. They're still good and they can definitely top, but you again have to try and make
You
sure
got
you're
to work
streamlined.
for it.
Yeah, you have to work harder for it.
You don't put on a motorcycle helmet and just face roll your opponent. You got to work for it. And tier 3, don't be afraid to play those too. Those are still fun decks. They're really good to play. If a lot of people are playing tier 2 decks, which a lot of people are, there's a lot of people playing a lot of tier 2 decks. Tier 3 goes pretty well against tier 2. And again, if you're more skilled if you're a more skilled tier 3 player than the tier 2 player, then the tier 3 player could probably raffle stomp the tier 2 player. No problem.
It just takes some effort to beat tier 1s. A lot of effort.
It also depends on the matchup because some of these have better matchups against some of the tier 1 decks than others in the tier. Like we could say Kaiserion has a better matchup against Style of Justice just because he it's a weapon.
Yeah.
They don't care about no Style of Justice. But you put it up against Stars and all of a sudden Kaiserion's crying tears of shame.
Yeah?
Then again, what doesn't cry tears of shame against Stars? All right, God Vortis. Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, yup, uh-huh. God Vortis, yup.
He is a god. Yeah, I think that's it, unless you have something else to say.
No. Not besides, Star Dragon World Forever, Legend Stars best deck in format, God Vortis good card, don't play Mill, cough cough, wheeze wheeze. That's about it.
Alright. Well, we'll have more videos up soon in the future.
We'll probably have a deck profile coming up real soon because our Hero World weeb loves posting Hero World stuff. And Hero World has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 decks. Just looking at the tier 2 and tier 3.
They have a lot.
So we got a lot of Hero World content because our weeb can't stay off our channel.
Yeah. We did give him free reign, though,
I'll
so.
probably post the Star or Thunder Knight one real soon. We got decks.
We got a bunch of decks coming with the next set, too. We're building a lot of things out of that set.
Decks are coming. We built in a lot out of next set, so we'll post videos of those real soon after the set release. Hopefully not too long, but we gotta make sure our numbers are right and they're not suboptimal decks. We don't give you suboptimal. We give you good. Best content.
All right.
Yeah, be sure to tell your friends. We're a thing. Buddyfight News Corner. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll have more content discussions coming soon. You can tell us what you want below in the comment section, or if you disagree with one of our placements of your decks, you can put that in the comment section below. I'm not guarantee I'm going to answer it, because if it's irrelevant, I'm probably not going to answer it. But, I try to answer it.
If I see it, I'll answer it.
He's the nice one out of us. He'll answer it.
Oh boy.
And if there's something you want to see on our channel, maybe you want to see fight videos, because we've been slacking on those. We haven't posted any since we said we were going to. Let us know you want to see fight videos. If you want to see a deck profile, let us know you want to see a deck profile.
Yeah,
you want us to shut down our channel? Tell us shut down our channel. We ain't going to listen to you, but at least you told us.
If you have any decks that you want us to do, you could throw out the suggestion, and if we have the stuff to do it, we'll do it.
Worst comes to worst, we'll do it on area. We try to avoid doing area decks because we like handling real cards, because you can't hand shuffle area decks. But we'll do it if you guys really want it. So keep that in mind.
All right. I think that's it.
Don't forget to tell your friends. Share the list. Pass on the word.
Buddyfight News Corner, out.